was that it felt like your own thing, you know, it felt like something that you had that was, I know Rima said her dad would borrow it, like, my parents did. In fact, it was almost something that, for a little while, I don't know if anyone has had this similar experience. I remember parents saying, you shouldn't read Archies, and not that they meant, your language will get spoiled, or it's the slang, and or as Indian kids, as Indian parents, and you always want your kids to have their own expression to speak English well, and because it's slang, they were like, your parents would say don't, and every kid was secretly reading the Archies. And you're right, you know, probably my parents were secretly reading it as well. I think it really feels like something that was yours, just it meant something to you. You know, you grew up reading those comics, and it wasn't something that you necessarily shared. It's not, you know, a good comparison would be something like a Ramayana or a Mahabharata, which you watched together as a family growing up. This was your thing. This was just exclusively yours, and I think that's why, you know, at least certainly kids that grew up in the 80s and 90s would completely sort of relate to that.
I mean, you know, like my mom did read it secretly, but when I was reading it, she's like, very good, my child's a reader. So I think across generations that really changed, and it's incredible that I think any of the millennials like legit going and getting the Archies comic book, exchanging it for, you know, like you've got that edition, I've got this one, and then you move into Gen Z, Alpha, all of these new generations, and they've all heard of the Archies, which means it's still injected in. And the beauty of actually Zoya and Rima's writing in the film is it cuts across generations. It's a family entertainment. It's multi-generational. It goes deeper and beyond. It's not when I say deeper, it goes beyond friendship.
Yeah.
Goes into you're never too young to change the world, and that really brings in the family. So I know when we saw the film, the first thing Steve and I said is, this feels like a warm, fuzzy hug in Christmas.
It is. That is exactly.
And
yeah.
that's what makes it so special. Like you've got characters that millennials could identify with, that you know you'd want to turn to for nostalgia, and then a generation turns to for saying, oh, this is what the fuss is all about, and then suddenly you've got a family coming together and enjoying it, and I think that's the beauty of how you know the franchise has kind of aged and how they've adapted it.
And such incredible music.
Oh yeah.
That really, no matter where you are in the world,
right.
This music is going to be something that I think is going to, and to your point, Zoya, before about, you know, so much of the world has not seen how amazing a part of that film ecosystem music is. And I think this will be something that just kicks the door wide open for the world to see, you know, what that can be.
Yeah. And can you talk about actually the music and also sort of staging the numbers, because the dance ones are great.
I love shooting songs. I really enjoy it, and I collaborate with different choreographers. I had Bosco Cisa on this and Ganesh Hegde, and it's a completely different discipline, and it's a different language, you know, of communicating. So I really enjoy doing it. This was a space where I could put up set pieces. Like we needed each one to have its own tone, have its own have its own grammar and have its own vibe.
Right.
So that was really fun to do. Ankur Tiwari was the music supervisor, and I worked with Shankar S. and Lloyd, that they were born to do this film. Dot gave some music, and then Ankur and the Islanders did some music. It was great. We also have some background tracks from a band called the Cavaliers from the 70s. They were Anglo-Indians, and so they had cut a few albums. So we have 2 tracks of theirs, which is really fun to discover and include. Yeah.
I'm being told that I don't have a lot of time, so I know we're going to open it out to you for questions, but I have some house rules. Only questions about the film, and I get to shut it down if it's a stupid question. So if you have questions, you can raise your hand and we'll send a mic. I think we might be able to get a few questions in. Maybe the folks there. Do we have mics in the room?
Yes.
And question, not long rambling opinion.
Hi, I'm Abhirupa. Okay. What I wanted to ask was, in 2023, when we have like slightly evolved sensibilities about what we want to see on screen, I wanted to know from Zoya and Rima, trying to create a world that has already been established. How much of impact or relatability would it create? Like, what did you anticipate? Because
We have no idea. We'll find out.
I think there's